Hello dear students. Lfhp Kankvali College Kankvali, Assistant Teacher Mahadeshwar MV. Students, as the picture indicates, you rightly guess that today we will see the poem 2.3, The Inchcape Rock. First of all, we will see the title of this poem 2.3, The Inchcape Rock. So it is about the particular rock which is very important in that area because of its significant work. So what's that significance of it? Why it was important? Everything we will see rightly in the explanation. Before that, we have to solve all the icebreakers activities. Very interesting icebreakers activities are there, students, and all are related to the sea life. Prepare a word register related to marine life. Already we have studied what is meant by register. Register means the terminology, the concepts, the words related particular field or sector. Here the given term, that is marine life. So we have to find out the words, concepts, phrases related marine life. So first let me tell you what is meant by marine life. Marine life, or another wording is that sea life, or we could call it ocean life, and it is full of the plants, animals and other organisms could be found in salt water of the sea or ocean, or the brackish water of the coastal estuaries. Other fish evolve into land mammals and subsequently return to the ocean as seals, dolphins and whales. So this is the meaning of marine life. So now you have to find out all the words, or the words you could find out related marine life. I hope that is easy activity for you, and you have to find out the words related marine life. One, they have given sailors, and remnant you have to find. Now, the second activity is that you have to mention the functions of lighthouse. One of that they have given, and that is showing the direction. To understand the functions of it, first of all, you must know what is meant by lighthouse. Check the meaning of lighthouse here. It's a tower or other structure containing a beacon light to warn or guide ships at sea. So it is the beacon light, means the particular pole on which the light would be there, which is indicating the ships that in which direction they have to travel. To make it clear, check this image. This is the image of lighthouse at the coastal area on the rock. Now we must go to see the third activity, and that is discuss in pairs the various famous rocks in the world and mention the places where they are. One of that they have mentioned. So you have to go to internet and you have to find out plenty of examples related the same. We have to go for the next activity, where the demand of this activity, the narration by you about such a kind of story where someone who destroyed or spoiled someone else's good work. So you have to share such a kind of story. The last ultimate icebreaker activity is you have to discuss the following expressions. One of that is, as you sow, so shall you reap. Means what you will give, the same will be in reaction. If suppose you will offer the love, in opposite to that in reaction to that you would get love. Crime gets its own punishment. Where there is crime, no doubt nobody would find out that if suppose any person wouldn't get the recognition that somebody has done the or committed the crime, but one day that crime would get its punishment. Third one, what goes around comes around. Means what? If you offer, it's like a boomerang. If you will throw it, it will definitely come to you because earth or the life is in moving in circular motion. Tit for tat. You know this famous term, how you would behave with the next, the same would offer. Otherwise, the next person could exploit your life. So better, if suppose you anybody will slap you, definitely don't wait to show him the another trick of yours. Definitely pay him back in same intensity. Then he or she would get the right lesson. Next, evil digs a pit for others but falls into the same. Do remember this particular term, especially A, B, all these are related to this poem because especially the last one, that Evelic personalities wanted to create obstacles in the path of good people, but actually they didn't know that they are weaving the net around their own life. So this is the same thought you could find in this present poem. I hope you got all the answers. Now we will see the author's information. The poem is written by Robert Southey. The span of his life is mentioned here. He was born in Bristol, England. He was the son of a draper, educated at Westminster School and Balliol College, Oxford. He was a poet laureate of England from 1813 to 1843. Poet laureate was the designation in the literary world that was considered as the highest one, and he deserved that during 1813 to 1843, such a lengthy period or span. Some of his short poems, like The Scholar, The Battle of Blenheim, Bishop Hatto, The Inchcape Rock, etc., are very popular with the school children. Why? Why these are popular? Because especially he's used the technique that storytelling and such a type of writing poem is called ballad. The Inchcape Rock is a ballad. It's the story of the 14th century attempt by the abbot of Aberbrothok to install a warning bell on Inchcape, a notorious sandstone reef about 11 miles or 18 kilometers off the east coast of Angus, Scotland, near Dundee, and 5 occupied by the Bell Rock Lighthouse. See this now. First of all, let me explain you what is meant by ballad. Obviously, the meaning of ballad is in detailed manner mentioned in your brainstorming. You must go through that. But in shortest version, I will mention that ballad is a form of a poetry where you could get the storytelling method in through the poem. So this is having lengthy nature and detailed meaning of this. You must go, if you wanted to find out detailed meaning, you must visit the brainstorming. But ballad, in short, it is a story intertwining in a poem. So it is a story about whom, that about a person who had done very good work, and who was that about Abor Brodok. And what the very good work he had done, that he installed a warning bell at Inchcape Rock, and that bell was giving all the time the warning to the ship nearby who were traveling through the storms, and they safely went by or went nearby the Inchcape Rock without any harmage. Southey was inspired by the legendary story of a pirate who removed the bell on the Inchcape Rock, blessed by the abbot of Aberbrothok. The poem gives us a message that those who do wrong things will meet with due punishment. So do remember those people who are doing wrong. Ultimately, no doubt, but ultimately they would get the result of it, and that is punishment. I hope you got the information of the author as well as the poem. Imagine and do remember this image, that is in not exactly, actually it's the image of Inchcape Rock, but Try to imagine yourself that you are with Inchcape Rock now. Now, first of all, we will read the poem. The whole poem I will read, and then I will explain you stanza wise and line by line wise. Actually, in this whole poem, you could get 17 stanzas. So it is the form ballad, and already I mentioned that it is intertwining of a whole story. So now I will read the poem. Make sure that you must have your textbook. Inchcape Rock. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was as still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape Bell. The abbot of Aberbrothok had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock, on a bar in the storm. It floated and swung, and over and over the waves its warning rung. At left side, the vocabulary. Abbot, head of abbey of monks, abbey a building where monks or nuns live or used to live. So Aberbrothok was the abbot of them. Buoy, floating object anchored in the sea to mark dangerous places. So see this, on a buoy in the storm, it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. When the rock was hid by the surge swell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock, and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothok. The sun in heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The sea birds screamed as they whirled round, and there was a joyance in their sound. The buoy of the Inchcape Bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the dark speck. At right side, give reasons for the sailor's appreciation of the abbot. Surge swell, sudden and great rise in the level of the sea. Perilous, dangerous. Blessed, Old English form of blessed. Guess the meaning. Activity, world round. Speak, a tiny dot. Sir Ralph the rover, a sea pirate. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, "My man, put out the boat, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and I shall plague the abbot of Aberbrothok." The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sunk the bell with a gurgling sound. The bubbles rose and burst around. Quoth Sir Ralph, "The next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothok." Describe the state of mind of Sir Ralph. Quoth, that means said. Plague, cause pain or trouble. When the rover spotted the bell, he cut the bell from the boy. This was an act of, you have to find whether hatred, anger, jealousy, frustration. Gurgling sound, you have to find out the figure of speech. Sir Ralph the rover sailed away. He scoured the seas for many a day, and now ground rich with plundered store. He steers his course for Scotland shore. So thick a haze overspreads the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. The wind had blown a gale all day. At evening it had died away. On the deck the rower takes his stand. So dark it is they see no land, quoth Sir Ralph. It will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of the rising moon. Scoured. Here the meaning is travel freely, energetically, for ships to rob. Plunder store. Big amount of looted wealth. Steers. Directs the course of the ship. His thin mist. Canst hear, said one. The breakers roar? For Matsing, we should be near the shore. Now, where we are, I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the inchcape bell. They hear no sound. The swell is strong. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along, till the vessel till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. O Christ, it is the Inchcape Rock! Sir Ralph the rower tore his hair. He cursed himself in his despair. The waves rush in every side, the ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rower hear, a sound as if with the Inchcape bell the devil below was ringing his knell. Metics. It seems to me archaic form, I think. Dripped, move slowly. O Christ, it is the Inchcape Rock. What made Ralph the rower to explain this line? Tore, pulled hard, knell, the sound of a bell, rung solemnly after death or at funeral announcement of death. Now we will see actual explanation of each stanza line by line. The Inchcape Rock. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Stir means happening or fraction. Everywhere the air was very silent and even the sea was very calm and quiet. There is no any kind of fraction or storm-like situation. The ship was as still as she could be, and the ships on that sea was it could be still because there is no movement at the sea water level. Her sails from heaven received no motion, and she was sailing on as if the sea is the heaven for it, and there is no any kind of other opposite motion. Motion means movement. Her keel was already in the ocean. Her keel was steady in the ocean. Now, keel means what? It is anchor-like structure. So, in short, we could say that the particular anchor which is fixed at the bottom, and because of that, the sea is getting the fixity. So, in short, the first answer is saying that everywhere there is the calm and quietude. The weather is quite happy, and there is no other kind of obstacle in the path of ships. Second, without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So, without any kind of sign of the danger or sound of a shock, means there is no any kind of heaviness or wet air shock like stormy sea waves, and they are dropping themselves on the Inchcape Rock smoothly. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell, and as they were very little rising, there is little flowing of them. Because of that, the danger line of Inchcape bell means Inchcape bell's design was like that. If the stormy night is there, stormy atmosphere is there, obviously it started to ring up, and because of that, all the ships were getting the guidelines that it is Inchcape rock and they must not go over there because that is rocky area, and before that that Inchcape rock was having bell that was installed by Aberbrodock. What happened with many ships? They were getting wrecking accidents because of the stormy atmosphere. They were dragging towards Inchcape Rock, and as that was rocky area, they wreck up into pieces. When Aberdock had found this fact, he installed the bell on Inchcape Rock, and now then there was no such a kind of accidental case happen, because when the stormy atmosphere would be there, because of the stormy air, the bell on Inchcape Rock was started to ring up, and because of that, all the ships from uh, went away from, by carrying the safe distance away from Inchcape Rock. So in the second stanza you would get that as there was not stormy atmosphere, everything was smoothly going on, wind is flowing very smoothly, and hence there is no any sound of Inchcape bell. Now the third one. The abbot of Aberbrothok had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. This is the history we got here, the reference that who placed that bell on Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm, it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. And whenever there is any kind of a stormy atmosphere, it started to ring up, and because of that, it would be the warning for the sea sailors. So in the three stanzas, you would get the first two stanzas are indicating the atmosphere is very quiet, and in the third stanza, you would get the history related Inchcape bell. Now the fourth. When the rock was hit by the surge's swell. Now surge's swell means what? Sudden and great rise in the level of the sea. Because of that, whenever there is the stormy atmosphere, the sea level is increasing suddenly, as if it is the swelling to the sea. Obviously, because of that, the rock was being hidden, and it went under the sea water, and because of that, many people couldn't see that. Even sailors couldn't see that, because on it everywhere there would be the sea water, and hence Aberbrothok had installed that bell, so it could ring up, and all other nearby ships could understand that. No doubt they couldn't see the Inchcape Rock, but it's still there. The mariners heard the warning bell. No doubt they couldn't see the underwater that rocky area, but they could hear that warning bell. And then they knew the perilous rock, and they are getting the warning about the dangerous rock that is in Scrape Rock, and bless the abbot of Aberbrothok. And they started to bless whom? Aberbrothok. Why they are blessing him? This is the reason they are asking you also the reason why they started to bless, because of the bravery and intelligence of the Aberbrothok, they can save themselves, and many more sailors could save their not only ships, not only treasures, but the lives of many sailors, because it could be the warning bell for all the people about the dangerous or perilous Inchcape Rock. Next stanza indicates something, and that is now the starting of happening. As you know that before starting of the storm, there would be everywhere the silence, and that is mentioned in the next stanza, as if this is the starting of the stormy things. The sun in the heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. So on that day it was very sunny morning. Everywhere it was sun was shining smoothly, and the things are very joyful. Everywhere there was the happiness. The seabirds screamed as they whirled round, and the seabirds on the sea, they were screaming in such a manner as if they were enjoying the atmosphere, and there was joyance in their sound, and one feeling could be sensed in the sounds of the seabird, and that was only the joyance. But see students, it is not only the description of the happiness and joyful atmosphere, but it is the pre-preparation of the starting of something great disaster, and that is in the next stanza. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen a dark speck on the ocean green. From far away distance, that Inchcape bell was looking like a speck, like a very tiny dot. And everywhere the ocean was looking green, and from far away distance, the Inchcape bell was looking like a tiny dot. And there was the entry of villainous character, and that name is Sir Ralph the Rover. Who was he? He is a sea pirate. I think you know the meaning of pirate. Pirate means what? Sea robbers. They are stealing everything from the ships and their owners, and they are looting all the treasures on the traveling ships. So he was a sea pirate, and he walked his deck. He was on his vessel. Vessel means on his ship he was, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck, and where his eyes were, they were fixed tightly on this speck. Speck means a tiny dot, and already in the same stanza we got the reference. What is looking like a tiny dot? That is Inchcape bell. So this is the starting student. He was looking towards Inchcape bell, the tiny dot, in which attitude? What exactly he wanted to do? See the next part. He felt the cheering power of spring. Actually, the atmosphere, that the season was spring, and because of that joyous atmosphere was there. It made him whistle, it made him sing. So if suppose you observe such a kind of person who is whistling, singing a song and enjoying the spring attitude or spring atmosphere, obviously you are feeling that this is the man of happiness. But something happened here different. His heart was mirthful to excess, means he is ready enough to do something great, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. But what exactly his great thing he wanted to do? That is the thing at his heart, that is wickedness. He was not the man of honesty and nobility, but he is the man of his wickedness. Now, wickedness means what? Such a kind of people who is being jealous about all the good people and good work, and they wanted to destroy them and at any cost. And here there is the starting of the tragedy. His eye tragedy, a tragedy not of rower, but obviously of the good person. Who is that? Aberbrothok. So at starting we feel that it is the tragedy of Aberbrothok, but do remember students, at the end you would get the sign that where there is the crime, it must be punished and it would be punished. Now see the next. His eye was on the Inchcape float, and he was continuously looking towards that. And quoth he means what? He stated, he said something. My man, he ordered his men, his sailors, put out the boat, means find, make the boat ready, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and let me go towards Inchcape Rock, and I will plague the abbot of Aberbrothok. He mentioned that I will definitely wanted to give pain and trouble to Abbot of Aberbrothok. So see what a wickedness of this man, the person who had done something great for other people, and for many generations he was knowing after his death even. Now Rover, he wanted to destroy that thing. The boat is lowered now, means his boatmen went to take him towards that Inchcape Rock area, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he bent it over there, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float, and finally he had proven his wickedness true. So which feeling was there at his heart? Completely jealousy was there. Down sunk the bell. Now this is the description of sinking bell, and which sound was coming from that student's gurgling sound. And see the sound here, gurgling sound. So it is onomatopoeic expression, exactly the sound of the dropping and sinking of the bell is given, and that is gurgling sound. See, down the sung the bell with a gurgling sound. The bubbles rose and burst around. See, this is now the bells going, saying final goodbye. Bubbles rose up and burst around. And then Sir Ralph quotes, what that? The next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrodock. See what a wicked heart he was having. He was saying that the next ship who is coming towards Inchcape Rock, definitely it is not giving blessing to Abbot, 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 Abbot of Aberbrodock. So see what a wicked heart he was collecting. We can't call it even the human. See, his jealousy towards that good man was the tragedy of the many ships, and he has the dual intention. Why he mentioned such a kind of statement? Because he not only wanted to give the stamp or the black dot at the good work of Abbot Aberbrodock, but he also wanted to loot all the wrecked ships at the same rock, and by that way he could be richer more than ever. So this was the dual intention, but definitely we can sense he is the real devil or evil power. Then what happened to the next? See, Sir Ralph the rover sailed away. Means this is his next journey now. This is not only related to the immediate first journey of him, but this stanza is indicating what are the other journeys he traveled, he sailed on where, and how did he collect the looted treasure from many different ships. Sir Ralph the rover sailed away. He scoured the seas for many a day. He travelled freely, energetically everywhere, and what the intention of this free travel, that is only one, robbing the other wrecked ships. And now grown rich with plunder store. Plunder store, that means the looted treasure. This treasure is not the treasure of honesty or nobility or hardships or hard work, that only the treasure of definitely the loot and the spoilage of other spoils. He steers his course for Scotland shore. Means now he directs his course of his ships towards Scotland direction. He wanted to go towards Scotland's shore. Shore means beach or that coastal area. Now what happened on that day? See there now. Now crime is going to be got punishment. So thick a haze overspreads the sky. See, haze means what? Thin mist, a kind like foggy areas. You know that at the in winter season, at the very morning, you are getting haze. Means in winter season, you found the very foggy atmosphere. You are unable to see to the next feet, some feet of yours. So there was the atmosphere like a very thick mist or haze was there, and that was overspread the sky. Everywhere there was the blur atmosphere. They cannot see the sun on high, even they couldn't see the sun in the sky. The wind had blown a gale all day. Gale means what? A stormy atmosphere was there. Every time for the whole day the wind was like stormy. At evening it had died away, and obviously you would get everywhere the stormy means day, evening, everything is spoiled by the gale area or gale atmosphere. On the deck with rower takes his stand, and on the deck of his vessel, vessel means ship, of who was standing rower, and he had taken his stand, so proudy and haughty. So dark it is they see no land, and nobody on that vessel or ship could see the land. Quoth Sir Ralph, and there is now again the statement of Sir Ralph would come, and see this is he wanted to just only motivate his co-sailors by saying that it will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of rising moon. May see it just after a few hours you would get the light atmosphere. You are able to get everything, because moon is about to say goodbye and dawn is coming. Canst hear, said one. Can't hear, said one, the breakers roar. For methinks we should be near the shore. So one of the sailors mentioned that can't hear the breakers roar means don't you hear that the particular sound of roaring means waves are rushing after something and they are coming back. So me thinks means what? I think. In archaic form they are using me thinks, but actually in day to day life we have to say I think. So he was thinking that he thought that one of the sailors that they were the near they were near the shore. Shore means what? The beach of the sea, because their intention and their imagination was that if sea waves are rushing towards something, having the dropping sound and coming back, definitely that is the shore of sea. Now, where we are, I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the inchcape bell. And he was getting confused even. He was not sure about where they were actually. So he mentioned that didn't understand, or he can't understand where they exactly were, and he was wishing now that who should be there. What the abbot, he was memorizing abbot of Aberbrothok and his inchcape rocks bell. See, this is the thing. What, see, in icebreakers already we have seen the line, no? What was that? The devil no doubt digging the hole or pit for others to fall, but actually he himself is falling inside of that pit. So here happens the same. Rover's intention was to cut down that bell. Dual intention was that he wanted to give the pen to the soul of the great person Aberbrothok, and plus to that he just wanted to give pain to all the sheep sellers who could find out the wreck ships of them, and even he could loot their all treasure. But today he himself in the trap, and one of the sailors on his own vessel or ship was memorizing the great person and his great devotion, that is Inchcape Bell. They hear no sound. The swell is strong. Swell means what? The flow of the sea. The sea waves were very high, and there was no sound of the bell, though they were expecting that. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock, and they have to be one of the part of that weaving and stormy wind. And up to that moment they didn't realize their destiny. Once there was a great shivering shock for the vessel when it strikes to something, and what that they themselves realized that, oh Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. And by this shivering shock, everybody on the vessel would understand that what was that? The great shock was because of Inchcape rock. Their own ship is being wrecked because of Inchcape rock. And now they were missing. Now they were calling the God. So he was saying, oh Christ. So this is apostrophe. The poetic device is called apostrophe, addressing some absent person, dead object, or even the person or the God. So O Christ is apostrophe. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. Why he was tearing his hair now? He just wanted to curse himself, because he was cursing himself. He said that no, he cursed himself in his despair, and he was, despair means what? Complete hopelessness. He had lost his hope because he knew his destiny, that he killed someone, and obviously he is now being killed by the same. The waves rush in every side. The waves water was rushing towards their vessel. The ship is sinking beneath the tide, and and under this great flow of that sea waves, that is rising and downfalling of the sea, that boat, that vessel of rover was sinking. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rower hear. And obviously who was hearing that sound? Rower, because he was the person, he was the man who committed the sin. His act was really very sinful act, because he killed not only that bell, Inchcape bell, and that was the sound of that bell. See student, he no doubt killed the honor. He means he wanted to kill the honor of Abbot of Aberbrothok. He wanted to kill all other destinies by killing down them on that inchcape rock. I'm talking about the sellers, many sellers who were being looted because of this rower. But see, student, any wrong thing definitely will get the punishment, and that is proven correct in this case also. He could listen that sound. What is the greatest of the punishment of rower? That he was sinking away at the same position where he had committed the sinful act, and that is he was listening that dreadful sound, a sound as if with the inchcape bell the devil below was ringing his knell. And that sound, the bell, was who is ringing? The devil, which was already in the favor of rower. See, just before devil was in his favor, and now the same devil is working against the rower. In short, it wanted to take him away with him at the same place where he had committed the sinful act. So by this poem you could understand, students, the crime, no doubt late, but would be punished all the time. So trust in good ways, trust in good people, and don't do anything wrong to the good people. Otherwise, your wickedness could be the reason of your wicked, cruel death. I hope you understand this whole poem, students. So by that way, we have completed this poem successfully. So students, try to understand the meaning of this poem, as it is the ballad, as it is the story. Enjoy it well, and face the examination in very great confident way. So till that moment we have to say bye. I have to take your leave now. Stay home, stay safe.